You're watching WAFF 48 News at noon on your side.
Welcome in. I'm Gina Benitez. We begin in Huntsville this afternoon, where police are breaking down recent crime statistics and their plans to keep Huntsville safe. Kurt Warshak with the North Alabama Multi-Agency Crime Center says major crimes are down 33% from 2019 and violent crimes are down by 50%. Warshak and Huntsville Police Chief Kirk Giles say while the numbers seem surprising since the population has grown by 24%, it's a testament to local law enforcement's dedication to public safety.
We will never replace our officers. Our officers are the tip of the spear. And what we're trying to do is give them technologies that will help them to do their job better, faster, and more efficiently.
These numbers reflect many moving parts: a growing city, continued investment in technology, analysis, strong partnership, and a community willing to engage and work along beside us. But behind every chart and every percentage point are people doing the work.
You can watch that full press conference on our website, WAFF.com. Well, tonight you're invited to share your thoughts on the Huntsville Police Department. A public feedback forum is set for 6 p.m. at the Johnson Legacy Center on Cecil Fain Drive. Department leaders are also discussing how complaints are handled and the investigative process they go through. All new at noon, Sheffield's mayor was airlifted to Vanderbilt Medical Center late last night. The Times Daily reports fire and medical personnel were called to Mayor Brian Vandevender's home just after 10. Vandevender was then taken to Helen Keller Hospital before being flown to Vanderbilt. We'll let you know when we get an update on this condition.
It is a gorgeous and warm day across the valley. We're expecting to see some 70s in the forecast, still sticking around some of those upper 60s for the moment. Here in Huntsville, it's a little hazy with that cloud cover. We're at 67 for a lot of these areas we're there. And as we look into the Muscle Shoals area, we're at about 69. So they're going to probably be the first group of folks to hit that 70 out of today. Expectations for the next few hours, we'll start to see 70s right around the 1 and 2 o'clock hour, increasing cloud cover as we go into the evening as well. We had some rain chances forecasted for later this afternoon, but it's pushed all the way back to this evening. So we'll talk about those overnight rain chances. You'll see some rain and hear some thunder overnight tonight, and that's the worst case scenario out of all of this. Not expecting anything severe. It's just going to be about 54 degrees and maybe a little loud at times. We're also expecting to see a wet Wednesday morning drive. I'll walk you through the full look at that forecast for the rain and what to expect for the rest of this week, including the holiday weekend, coming up in a moment.
Jada, thank you. The Muscle Shoals City Clerk is back on the job. Leaders voted to reinstate her after a 5-hour meeting last night. The vote to reinstate was 4-1. At last night's special council meeting, Brittany Walker's attorney alleged Mayor Billy Hudson fired Walker for personal reasons. Hudson's legal team denied this. They said Walker allowed the city to continue to participate in a non-compliant medical benefit plan. However, Walker said she did not have the authority to stop it. Walker was also accused of misusing a city vehicle and changing employee schedules improperly. Walker was initially fired last month by Mayor Hudson after an internal investigation into the city's finances. Well, we have breaking news just in on the search for Nancy Guthrie in Arizona. Minutes ago, the Pima County Sheriff's Office released this image. Law enforcement uncovered previously inaccessible images from the home, surveillance images from that Nest camera. This image shows an armed person who appears to have tampered with the camera at Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. The mother of the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie, was last seen January 31st. Investigators believe she was taken from her home against her will. Well, state troopers have released the name of the Huntsville man who died in a Madison County crash. Troopers say Devin McPeters was killed when he crashed into a tree. This happened yesterday on Moontown Road and Berry Road near Brownsboro. We're told McPeters was not wearing a seatbelt. Decatur city officials are moving forward with efforts to build a new bridge into the city. Leaders hope this relieves some of the daily traffic on the Hudson Memorial Bridge. A $3 million grant will fund a study to ensure the feasibility of building the bridge. Nearly 55,000 cars pass over the Hudson Memorial Bridge each day. City Councilman Carl McMaster says the study will take time, but it's well worth it to relieve traffic.
Every penny we're spending on the study is required by the feds in order to get to the next step. We got to do origin destination. Now we've got to do environmental. Once that's done, we can get into the design aspect of it, and then we've got to pay for design. And then once that's done, then we start going to DC and our friends in Montgomery.
Decatur Mayor Kent Lawrence thinks a new bridge could be most cost-effective if it connects to the Beltline. All new at noon, funeral arrangements have been announced for a local music icon. A service for Huntsville's Microwave Dave Gallagher will be held at the Episcopal Church of the Nativity on Eustis Avenue Saturday, February 28th. It will start at 2 with a reception to follow. A community gathering called Microwaves Dave's graduation celebration will be announced at a later date. Well, your child could start their college journey before ever stepping foot on a college campus. A new bill aims to automatically enroll certain students into higher level math courses. If passed, students could take Algebra 1 in middle school and college level math classes in high school. Students who score high on their annual math assessment would automatically be enrolled in this advanced pathway starting in 5th grade. You would be able to opt your child out of the advanced math track at any time. The bill sponsor, House Representative Mac Butler, believes this will help the state's math proficiency rate, which was just above 33% last year.
You know, so many times you teach to the middle. You're in those at the top and at the bottom sometimes get left behind, but this one's actually going to assist those at the top that are proficient, that will advance right along.
Well, if passed, the bill would go into effect this October. If you're an Alabama EBT card holder, you'll soon get a new card in the mail. Alabama Department of Human Resources officials say the new cards will be chip-enabled and automatically defaulted to block out-of-state and online purchases. DHR says card holders will need to activate their new card when it arrives. It must be activated within 180 days. Well, the Olympic rings represent the coming together of 5 continents at the Winter Games in Italy. People are flocking to that symbol. Mike Anderson shows us how rings are helping build unity between small crowds of people who have never met.
It seems to be mutually understood that people here will exchange pictures celebrating that spirit of friendly competition.
It's actually a lifetime dream, I think, for both of us. Yes. To be at the Olympics. We are sport fans, especially winter sport.
Some are supporting loved ones.
Competition is today.
Like Sandy Frabel, her daughter competing in luge.
After that, I hope I'll be happy.
But whether you've traveled across the globe or not far at all.
Having Olympics at my home, it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to what's about to come.
Everyone here is pushing differences aside, coming together.
We've been walking across the old town in Cortina, and you can really feel the spirit here. It's a lot of super diverse nationalities.
Showing that even in the spirit of competition,
We're in our flag with the Olympic rings. And
you can cheer for the other guys every once in a while.
the
United States is also.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Thanks
to
for
be
that.
international, you're cheering for everyone.
And if you stand here long enough, you just might
We're here to bring the medals.
make a new friend.
I give it to you.
To me.
To you.
More than enough to make it worthwhile.
Enjoy the Olympics. Yes, enjoy the Olympics.
Love that. Well, a local child has a new lease on life thanks to an organ donor. Hear from Ruger about how he's doing after his big transplant. Welcome back. High schoolers looking for future job opportunities are getting the chance to connect with some local businesses. The 2026 Career and Workforce Expo is happening right now at the Ingalls Harbor Pavilion in Decatur. Leaders with 50 area businesses are there. The expo runs until 2 this afternoon. Well, a young boy from Ardmore is getting a second chance at life after receiving a new kidney. 48's Claudia Peppenhorst spoke with the child and his mother about his recovery.
It was very emotional to get the phone call.
It's a phone call that mom, Haley Scrimshire, has been waiting on for almost a year. Her son, 9-year-old Ruger Ennis, was diagnosed with kidney failure last year. Ever since, they've been waiting for him to receive a kidney transplant.
I think God was preparing us for it.
Haley says for a while they were waiting for a living donor, but as Ruger's health continued to decline, doctors recently placed him on the United Network for Organ Sharing list. She also made the decision to pull him out of school and allow him to do all virtual classwork due to his health. But on the night of January 5th,
I was stressing on how we were going to do all virtual, and then that night at 7:30 we got the call that we've got the kidney.
My kidney! It's my kidney!
They immediately grabbed their bags and headed to Children's Hospital in Birmingham. Ruger says he was feeling two very big emotions.
Nervous and excited.
He was dancing in the hospital, so he was ready for it.
On the morning of January 6, Ruger underwent the long-awaited surgery. After 5 hours, he finally had a new kidney, all thanks to another very brave young man.
Donor was a 16-year-old. We don't know much else other than he was in an ATV accident. So, we're always forever grateful for them. Hopefully one day we can make connection with them and let them know how grateful we are.
After a successful surgery, Ruger spent 8 days in the hospital. He and his mom are now in isolation at the Ronald McDonald House for the next 3 months. Not even a month later, you can already tell a difference.
You can tell a huge difference in his energy, huge difference. He's put on 10 pounds in a month.
A big topic during our interview was food.
The first thing I ate after transplant, Cheetos. I was just sitting down eating Cheez-Its.
And there's a reason why.
They said feed him all the pizza, chocolate, and ice cream he'll eat right now because his labs are still low. So he's excited to get to eat the foods that he didn't get to eat when he was diagnosed.
And that was our Claudia Peppenhorst reporting there. One Alabama woman is the proud grandmother of a brand new Super Bowl champion. The Seattle Seahawks claimed the victory over the New England Patriots on Sunday. Among those getting a ring is former University of Alabama offensive lineman Amari Knight. Now, the rookie did not spend much time on the field, and an injury kept him on the sidelines most of the season. But his grandmother, Tina of Irondale, says she's proud of her grandson's journey on and off the field.
Lots of people think, oh, well, he's lucky. No, he worked hard to get to where he is. And it was intentional. He has kept his faith, and he's grown in his faith. And he's just an all-around great guy.
Kite says Seattle is where her grandson wants to be, and this year has been the best he could have asked for.
Now, your first alert weather forecast with Jada Russell.
Well, a big roll tide to him. Here's what we're looking at weather-wise today. Nice, beautiful, warm conditions before we have rain chances moving in later this evening. The Shoals, gorgeous conditions. You can see a couple of clouds in the sky, but right around 69 degrees. A couple areas may reach 70, and they might be the first to do it today. So here's what we're seeing from the evening, though. I mentioned rain coming in late tonight. As you go through your evening commute, even around dinner time, should be in those 60s as you get ready to head on home, and whatever you have planned for the evening, be it an errand to run or even just out and about for your evening. We're expecting to see rain chances starting around 9 o'clock and carry into the overnight hours. The thing here is that we'll start to see some intensification with this rain going into the early morning hours Wednesday. That's when we'll start to see some stronger chances of thunder and lightning outside and heavier downpours of rain at times. So we'll drop our temperatures overnight to those low end 60s. A couple of folks may see some 50s a little earlier as we go into the rest of the night. Now, what we are looking at morning showers for Wednesday. But as we look ahead to the weekend, you'll notice Saturday has a chance of rain, and then Sunday is heaviest chance thus far. So we're expecting to see a couple inches of rain, about 1 or 2, but we're also seeing a chance for some strong gusty winds going into Sunday. So we'll probably issue a first alert weather day by the end of today, just making sure we're all on deck. But looking ahead to the rest of the evening, we'll start to see those rain chances, and you'll see we have a decent breeze of about 10 miles per hour. But here's that heavy point I mentioned right around 4 a.m. For a lot of our early risers, it'll be quite heavy at times, especially through this band that you see here of that heaviest downpour. The rest of us will get some light, steady rain going into the rest of Wednesday morning. We'll see it intensify on the eastern end of things, but going through the rest of the day, nice and dry conditions expected right around 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. So we're looking at your 10-day though. By the time we get through Wednesday morning, it should be nice and dry throughout the rest of the day, but that rain will drop us down to those 50s. We'll get back into the 60s going into Thursday and Friday. For Valentine's Day, I know there's also a Mardi Gras parade happening Saturday. We may see a washout for that day, so keep that in mind as you make your weekend plans. Rain chances will continue by that point.
Well, Huntsville wasn't always welcoming toward Black visitors. That is until one motel opened up. We take a dive into the first local motel for African Americans next. Well, travel in the Jim Crow South always meant the potential threat of danger for Black families. Places to eat and stay were limited because of segregation. But here in Huntsville, there was at least one place African Americans could feel safe in. For today's Black History piece, 48's Jonathan Skinner shows us the history of the first motel in Huntsville for African Americans.
It might not look like a lot now, but at one time, this lot at 1302 Posey Avenue was home to Huntsville history. If you're an African American looking to travel in the 1950s or 60s, you probably use this, a green book. And if you're coming to Huntsville, you search in here for the site of the Gladys Jane Motel. Opened on April 23, 1959, it was Huntsville's first motel for African Americans. Before it opened, traveling to the area would typically require staying with family and extensive planning.
Many of them just traveled on the road and knew the distance that they need. They packed their lunches and whatever accommodations they need because they knew they couldn't stop at various hotels or gas stations or restaurants because they would not be received.
The motel was opened by James and Lily Mae Moore and named after their daughters, Gladys and Jane. Dr. Jane Blackwell says her mother and father's story is one of innovation in the face of injustice. James, a brick mason, and Lily Mae, a cook, only had grade school educations, but were entrepreneurs at heart. Together, they started a formal cafe named the Paradise Inn. And after that, with the help of family, they opened the motel.
My father and his brother, Lawrence Moore, decided to purchase that land and they built the motel.
Though young girls when it first opened, Jane has fond memories of going to the Gladys Jane Motel with her sister after school.
Many times we actually got a chance to be the clerks to check people in.
And some of the travelers were well known.
I think the biggest memory that I have was when Aretha Franklin and her father, who was a pastor, came down for a conference, being able to sit out and hear her beautiful voice. I wish I had gotten autographs.
This picture from the grand opening celebration shows community members who came out to see the new building. From that day, the business began to grow, going from an original 7 units to 16 in a restaurant called Geneva's Grill, named after Jane's stepsister.
And we were pretty much booked all the time.
But not everyone was happy to see a new Black-owned business thriving.
We would have some people to drive by and, of course, call out some racial remarks. But that wasn't a stopping factor for my family. We knew who we were. We knew what we could do. We had a vision to help others.
In the late 80s, after Jane's father passed away, the family had challenges maintaining the property, and it would eventually be demolished in the early 2000s. But Jane says it still leaves a lasting legacy.
Their resilience, in spite of the segregation and civil rights and Jim Crow, all of that era going on, they pursued their vision and their dream.
Today, the only thing that still stands here is the pole that once held the sign for the Gladys Jane Motel. But with the help of the community, Jane says that she's hoping to place a historical marker here so people always remember the impact it had on Huntsville. Jonathan Skinner, WAFF 48 News, on your side.
What an incredible story. That's amazing. Here's a look at your forecast. Temperatures today, expecting to get into some 70s. Very uncharacteristic for a typical day in February, but once we get those rain chances going in the evening, that'll take our temperatures back down into those 50s overnight. And you'll notice Wednesday with more of those morning showers, we won't get far beyond our 59 degrees for the day. So going into Thursday and Friday, drier conditions, but still a little overcast between the 2 days. We get back into those 60s. Lows will return to the 30s for both days, and we'll ride that out through the weekend with those lows. By the time we get to Saturday, we'll see more of those rain chances in the afternoon mixing in. It'll be a warm day outside, but if you had some outdoor plans for Valentine's Day or just on a Saturday, it's going to be a little bit of a washout, so you may want to move them indoors. Sunday, more of the same, although temperatures will drop down to the 50s for a moment or two. As we get to Monday, we'll get back into the 60s for the holiday. President's Day, I know some folks may be off, but it's going to be gorgeous sunshine expected going into your Monday. We'll see 70s pop back in the forecast next Wednesday and Thursday. One of our concerns with that, we want to make sure that things stay smooth sailing as it has been so far. Sometimes you get these warm temperatures in uncharacteristic times of the year, and that kind of causes a little bit of severe weather, but no threat as of right now. The only thing we're thinking of is is possibly doing a first alert weather day for Sunday, just because we could incur some gusty winds at times for folks. So just want to make sure everybody's aware of that.
All right. Thank you, Jada. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.